Alright, so in this video we've got a problem, a word problem that deals with right triangles. So what does it say? Well, this is the problem is saying that Kayleen is a counselor at a summer camp. She helps students make paper hats. Rachel, another counselor, thought that the hats from a certain perspective looked like right triangles. These hats, they measure as 11 inches by 11 inches by 18 inches. Can you explain if these could be the measurements of a right triangle? Well, this goes back to the heart of the Pythagorean theorem, right? Here we have a triangle, and it could look like a right triangle, right? Pick a different color. But all right triangles, of course, must follow the Pythagorean theorem. It's not possible, right, to have a right triangle that does not have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, for example, here we have 11 inches by 11 by 18 inches. So the assumption is that this is a right angle right here, it's 90 degrees, and that these are the measurements and that this is a right triangle. But we can test it by plugging these numbers into our formula for the Pythagorean theorem. Remember that c squared always refers to the hypotenuse, or the longest side, so here 18 equals c. And these two measurements, 11 and 11, both equal A and B. Those are the legs of the triangle, and in this case they're both equal. So if this is true, if it's a right triangle, that means that 11 squared plus 11 squared would equal 18 squared. Now you might know a little bit about right triangles and realize that this cannot be true. If you have a right triangle with two equal legs, the hypotenuse has to be in relation to an irrational number, right? And that's a whole other conversation, but this refers to a 45, 90 triangle. And you can tell it's 45, 90 again because there are 180 degrees in the triangle and these two legs are equal, right? 11 and 11, so these two angles should be equal. That's assuming, of course, this is a right triangle. But it's not, because 11 squared is 121 plus 11 squared, which is 121. 18 squared, I don't know that one off the top of my head. Let me just set it up real quick. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6 is 14. Carry 0. 1 and 8 is 8. 1 and 1 is 1. Add it up, we get, right, 4, and then this is 12, so 324. So that should be true. 121 plus 121 should equal 324. But, however, it doesn't. 121 times 2 is 242. That does not equal 324. Therefore, this cannot be a right triangle. And if you were going to explain this, you would set this formula, right? Discuss what all this means and say that, you know, the sum of a squared and b squared has to equal c squared, since it does not here, right? It does not follow the Pythagorean theorem. It's not a right triangle. All right, thanks a lot.